Have you ever wondered why your phone isn't ringing for your business? Why people aren't calling you? Well, it could be that phone calls never happened, or it could be that Google hasn't been promoting your business. Hi, and welcome to the Window Pro podcast. My name is Duncan McRae, and today I want to talk to you about the Google Business Profile. So if you're a window cleaner or if you're any other service-oriented business, this podcast is for you. The Google Business Profile can be one of the most simplest foundations that you can put in place. The great thing about it is that it's free and it helps you to get found on Google Maps and Google Search. So, what is a Google Business Profile? Well, as I mentioned, you can be found on Google Search when people type in your service, your business type. Window cleaning near me is a common keyword search, or near a particular suburb. This allows people to find you. The profile has your business name, your phone number, it has your website details, what areas you cover, when you're open, and of course, the thing we really want are some excellent reviews. That's all part of the Google Business Profile. Now, if you open Google Maps and just search in your local area, just scroll around your area, you'll see a number of businesses that are pinned in various places. That's because they have a Google Business Profile. Now, the great thing about Google Business Profiles is that it opens you up to intentional searches. And this is where the difference is between Google leads and, say, social media leads. Now, you might advertise on social media, and some people find that very effective. But if you can just visualize this, someone's sitting on the lounge, they've had a few glasses of wine, it's Friday night, and they're just scrolling through social media. And there, out of the blue, appears your Meta ad. Now, was that person looking for a window cleaner? No, it just happened upon them. May they respond to that? They could. But a number of people I've talked to said oftentimes those ones are simply looking for what the price is. So it's a price search rather than a value added or a service oriented search. Difference with Google is that people are looking for that service. They're looking for a carpet cleaner. They're looking for a window cleaner. And so they type in that trade near them. They want to spend money on this particular service. So they're a much hotter lead than a social media that have happened to appear on their scrolling. So that's an important thing to remember, and that's the value of having a profile that is up to date. Now, before we get started, so we're going to spend time just stepping through the various steps that go into setting up your profile if you haven't already got one. And later on, we're going to talk about some common mistakes that we have to try and avoid so that our profile doesn't get all messy and then it becomes a liability, not an asset. So before we start clicking around inside Google, it's important to get these basics ready. So you notice on this list, the first one, your business name. Now, that might seem obvious, but the thing is you don't want to keyword stuff the business name, either with suburbs or with best window cleaning, that kind of thing, that Google will recognize as not a genuine business name. It's so much because here's the thing, your profile is designed to build trust between you and potential clients. So when you just put your regular business, registered business name, that's a great start. Put your phone number that you're going to answer. Now, some may have a phone number that just directs people to message. They then return those calls later in the day. My advice is to have the number that you're going to answer immediately, a business number. Don't let it go to messages. Try and connect with clients quickly. That makes a massive difference in people then going with your service. Do you have a website? Maybe early on we don't, but that's okay. By putting a link in that spot there, if you do have a website, you can actually determine where people will go on your website. So in my Google activity, I will direct people to the quote tool that's on my website so they can leave the details requesting a quote and I immediately can return their call. So that's a really important thing. It may be that you have another means of collecting information from people, lead collection. It may be that that link can go into your website link, but either way, make sure that you use that properly. Now, service area, before you start your profile building, it's really important to know what suburbs you're actually going to focus on. Where do you want work from? Now, we may feel because we're a service industry business, we can just put anywhere in our metropolitan city. There is a danger to that, of course. One of my consulting clients is trying to find clients across the whole of a 6 million population size. So he's traveling from one corner to the other, trying to find clients. It's frustrating him, but he hasn't determined which suburbs are going to be the most important. It's something we've been working on. So that's an important thing. What realistic area do you want? What demographic are more likely to spend or are looking for your services, looking for your value-added service that is going to make a difference in their lives? They're people who have the disposable income, people who take pride in their large homes, large businesses, things of that nature. So think carefully and have that list of suburbs prepared beforehand. Business hours, you think, well, that's obvious. There is an option to be open 24/7. You don't put 24/7. Put a regular business hours when people can contact you and they can see that you operate legitimately. Now, of course, having a few photos ready to go, it doesn't have to be fancy or, photoshopped with an inch of their life, just photos of you in your business activity. And it's great if they can see you, because then when they call, they've got a picture of who they are dealing with. And that's certainly very, very important. So that's a bit of prep that you can do before you get started. So once you've done that, what's next? Well, you notice this next slide is called Create or Claim Your Profile. Now, maybe you've had a bit of a play at trying to set up a Google business profile in the past, and so there is one floating around there that you haven't completed. Go and claim that and work on that one rather than starting with a new one. Reason for that is when there's duplicates, it can cause some confusion and people don't know which is you. So if you haven't done that before, if there isn't your business name in another profile somewhere, then it's good to start and create a new one. So that way you can then start from scratch and just work through the steps that you have to take. So that's a couple of really important things. Don't create duplicates. Just use a Google account that you're going to keep long term. Now, with regard to a Google account, don't use some random personal email like johnsmith@gmail.com unless your business is called John Smith Window Cleaning. But it would be so much better if you have a business email. It may be like mine, duncan@mccraeswindowcleaning.com.au. That's a Google business email address, or mccraeswindowcleaning@gmail.com. They're the accounts to use to build your profile. You need a Google account to make that happen. It's important because then you can control it and access it very easily. So now that you've started your profile, you'll be asked to choose the business type. So you're a service area business. In other words, you travel, window cleaners, we travel to people's places. They don't come to us to get their services from us. There's not a shop front where they come and work. So if you don't want your home address displayed publicly, set it up in a way that it's still shown without it being shown. And what do I mean by that? Well, for example, I live in an apartment complex, and so while people don't come to my home for their services, when I was verifying my business, Google wanted a local address. That's important for the Google Maps search that we're relying on for Google activity. So I literally just put the address of the apartment complex. I didn't put my apartment number. And Google accepted that. And so then I'm on the map. People can find me without compromising your privacy if you're a bit concerned with that. Now, of course, then it asks you to choose your service areas. So you've already picked those. What areas? So I operate in the Brisbane Bayside, Brisbane Eastern Suburbs. That's an area with a demographic of monster homes facing the ocean, facing the Brisbane River. They're more likely to have window cleaning services than some of the lower socioeconomic suburbs elsewhere in the city. So that's what choice I've made. So don't try and set the whole state as your area. That's not feasible. Choose the areas where you really want to work and where you want to focus your business. And of course, that helps you with minimizing travel. It's easier for scheduling because you're working at clients closer to each other. See, the goal here with our Google Business Profile isn't just to get more leads. It's actually to get really quality leads. And when we set out the proper category in Google and the suburbs we're going to work in, that enables you to lift the standard of leads that are coming through your business profile. Now, of course, if you do other services in addition to, say, window cleaning, you can add those a little later. So my tip would be just start with one service and then get your profile verified. You can always add that afterwards. If you have too many services added, it may impact your verification. It may determine how Google wants you to verify your business. So start small. Once it's verified, then you can add the gutter clearing, pressure cleaning, carpet cleaning, whatever else that you want to do in your business. Don't try to be everything at once. Just keep it simple, and that's going to help you succeed in getting your profile set up. All right. Next, it requires all the contact details and business hours. So we talked about that already. The phone number that people can get you on quickly, what website link you want to use, and the business hours. And it's really important because people look at that and they see what days you're open. They see whether they should contact you on weekends if you do work on weekends. But if you never answer your phone on Sundays, customers see the profile that says you are open on a Sunday, that'll annoy them. And maybe they'll move on to someone else. So make sure your phone number is correct. Make sure that the hours you operate is correct so that people know when to call. So take your time. So far we've done a number of different steps. Take your time with it and make sure you get it right the first time. Okay. Now, a business description. This is a really interesting one because this tells people what they can expect from your business. Now, it doesn't need us to, while Google gives you space for quite a long description, there's not really a need to give a big backstory as to how you got into the industry. People are interested in something straightforward that will help them to see what they expect from you as a business. So in this business description, you notice simply tell people what you do, who you help, where you operate, and what customers can expect from you. And it's really important not to make this all hypey or like a big fancy marketing copy, just the simple steps so that people immediately know, yes, you're the guy for me. All right. You could use AI. So what I'm going to show you, I used AI, ChatGPT, to come up with this next description that I'm going to show you on the next slide. And here it is. Here's an example. We provide professional window cleaning for homes and small businesses across Brisbane's Bayside. We focus on reliable service, clear communication, and great results. So notice that. What do you provide? Professional window cleaning. Who for? Homes and small businesses. Where? Brisbane's Bayside, Sydney's Northern Beaches, Kansas City, CBD, whatever it might be, focus on that area. And then that last sentence, the qualities and values that you live by, that your business operates on, that they can look at that and go, this is great. I'm going to have a good relationship with this person. I'm going to contact them. So that's your business description. Remember, simple and trustworthy beats clever and salesy. People can see if you're a bit cheesy, but they also recognize that if you're genuine and authentic, this is the person for them. So that's your business description. Now we're up to the point of adding photos. Now, photos matter a lot to people. They're not just showing your portfolio, but people will then be able to see, yep, this is a business I can trust. This is the work they do. For example, on my profile, McRae's Window Cleaning, I have a picture of my vehicle in the header, and people in the area may have seen me driving around. So I've had people say, oh yeah, I've seen one of your vans traveling around. I've only got one van. But because they see it here, they see it there, and they see the picture on Google, they recognize that I'm a legitimate business and it's someone they want to contact. So it may be your vehicle is a good photo, tools that you use, or a picture of you working on a job. Even before and afters are really important to help people. See, they don't have to be super duper photos, just photos that reassure people that this is a legitimate business, one that I can really trust. See, it's better to have 5 good photos than none. And don't leave that blank. Just get those photos uploaded. And you can have, with Google, an explanation as to what that is. And that's really, really important. Okay, so now we come to the point on verifying your profile. Now, over the years, when I've verified businesses through Google Business Profile, back in the day it used to be Google My Business, now it's called Google Business Profile. There's been a variety. Some, it's been just I fill out all the details and ask Google to verify it. In one business, they sent a postcard with a code that I had to enter, and that verified the business. Others, they literally verified it online. So I've heard of ones who have been asked to do a video explaining who they are, what they do, where they do that, so that it matches what information you've been entered. Whatever Google asks you to do, just do it. It may take a little time, but it's much better to spend the time doing that than not doing it and being frustrated at things not working out. So there's the steps that we've covered and the different things we have to do to get it started. Now, one of the important things, part of the value of Google Business Profile, is collecting reviews. This is a real priority. Now, it's better to have a Google profile with no reviews than no Google profile, but you want to have genuine reviews, and you can get started with a really interesting tip. Here's something that you can do to really get things kick-started with collecting reviews. Have you thought of providing a service, carpet cleaning, window cleaning, whatever you do, with people who you know, friends, family. You may even do the job for free. After the job, ask them to write a review. Send them the link to your review page, get them to write a review. And your friends and family will be more than happy as long as you've done the job for them. So it's legitimate. It's not just people spamming your review page. Legitimate people who benefit from your service so that they can review your business, and that gets things rolling. Now, after you've done the job, this is where remembering to get reviews is so important. See, when you're starting to get those reviews building, your profile starts to have a power to it that elevates you over other similar businesses, your competition, in other words, because people see what's been reviewed, their trust is growing. It actually reduces price shopping because they are looking for a quality service. People feel safe choosing you. And eventually, as you build reviews, it gives you the opportunity to support a higher level of pricing because you're an established business. So here's a simple habit that it's really good for all of us to get into with regard to reviews. When you see that a job has gone well, ask the customer for a review while the experience is still fresh. Now, just a couple of days ago, from when I'm recording this, I did a very large house in Brisbane that was quite tricky, but the lady was thrilled with the outcome, and she's going to become a regular 3-monthly client. When I asked if she does reviews, she said, no, I don't, but I do referrals. So she's going to refer me to other people, which is just as good. But of course, it doesn't look like a review on your profile. But that's people and their choices. Some of them will not touch Google reviews, but others do. So last week, 2 clients had a great experience, and that was just busting to put a review on my profile because of the experience. So ask them while they're happy, while the experience is fresh, and you could then send them a link. So I keep a link in a WhatsApp file, a link to the profile page where they can put in the review. Others buy those Google review cards where people can scan a QR code. Whatever method you use, the key is do it. And that shows that you're interested in your business growing. And it also tells future customers that you care about the service that you provide. All right, you ready for some mistakes? So here are some common issues that we try and avoid when setting up our profile. Number 1, keyword stuffing your business name. It just looks really dodgy. It smacks of used car salesman. So don't do that. Just keep your regular business name. Whatever it might be quirky, it doesn't matter, but if it's a registered business name, pop it in there. Mistake number 2, don't create a duplicate listing. That's why you need to go and search that there isn't already a profile that you've set up and forgotten about. You don't want to confuse customers. It's really difficult to clean that up. So make sure you don't create a duplicate listing. Mistake number 3, leaving the photos blank. People look at that and think, is this an active business? Is it a real business? If you've got some genuine photos, people won't ask that question. Now, what's a 4th mistake? Well, a 4th mistake is not asking for reviews. Now, if your competitor has 40 5-star reviews and you've got 2, as good a window cleaner as you are, who do you think is going to get the gig? Possibly the guy with 40. So asking for reviews, it'll take some time to build up, but constantly asking for reviews will build your business and build your business credibility. And the final mistake I want to mention is letting the contact details become inaccurate. Maybe you changed the phone number, forgot to put it on Google, forgot to tell them. You told your friends, you told your workmates, you told other people, but you forgot to update your Google profile. Make sure you do that. Make sure your business hours are up to date. Maybe you've decided business is going so well you're not working Mondays. We'll put that there. But what's the good thing? What good thing we get from keeping that accurate is Google will also contact you asking if you're open on certain public holidays. That allows you to double check what's your business profile saying so people know whether you work on Good Friday, whether you work on Easter Monday, whatever the public holiday it may be. So make sure the information is up to date. None of these mistakes will happen if we have the attitude that I'm not going to try and game Google. I'm going to work within their parameters so that I can have a successful business profile. So what next? Well, once the profile is live, your next priority is getting reviews. Okay? So the important thing about this is basically what I call a digital housekeeping. So every week, it might be good to spend 10 minutes checking that your details are up to date, popping in a photo. You might do a photo for a favorite job of the week. Ask for reviews as often as you can. And you notice on this slide, point 4, reply to the reviews. Thank them for the business transaction. Thank them for the kind words. Something really positive so that people see that you enjoy interacting with those clients and making sure that your business hours are current. All those kind of little things are really important. So, where does that lead us? What are you going to do with this information? Are you going to create your brand new business profile or improve the one you already have? Well, it's really important that this digital tool, which is free of charge, can be such a powerful asset to whatever service industry business that you run. Something that will help you grow your business, scale your business. So can I encourage you to really make sure that your business profile is accurate, up to date, and happening? And if you do, you're going to enjoy the benefits that come from that. So if this has benefited you, this podcast discussion about Google Business Profile, feel free to share it with somebody else. Or if you're watching this on Spotify or on YouTube, I'd love it if you could subscribe to my channels and enjoy future podcast episodes, future videos here on YouTube or on the other platforms to discuss success in business. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening. And I hope that your business journey is a successful one and that you find that digital assets like a Google Business Profile is something that really benefits you. Now, just something a little extra. If you haven't yet set up a good CRM or scheduling software, I'm an ambassador for Squeegee app. I use it every day. I've been using it for 6 years and find it to be an excellent piece of software to help schedule my business. Now, there are so many other things that I could be using it for, but I know that it's brilliant for scheduling the jobs and particularly repeat clients. So if you haven't tried Squeegee app, in the episode description, there's a code that gives you a discount for the first 12 months. So try Squeegee app. It's been built by window cleaners, for window cleaners, and others in the service industry business. So thanks for watching. We'll talk soon.